Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name's John McDonald, and today we're going to make a tied gift arrangement. So instead of making a bouquet, we'll make a tied design, but we're going to put it into a vase, and then this would be a gift item. So the flowers that I've got for today are these interesting pale peach carnations. We've got a little bit of solidago, lemon limonium, peach gerbera. Then we've got a little bit of mixed foliage. We've got some salal, some eucalyptus, a little bit of phoenix, just to create a base for our flowers. So the first thing I really need to do is, we're going to do this as a hand tie, is create a little bit of a centre for our design. So this piece of eucalyptus gives me the strength to go into the centre, and I'm just using my left hand essentially like a vase, and as we add stems we'll basically spiral the stems because we want everything to be really neat where it's tied, but also we want it to sit well. So if it's tied in a consistent way, then it will be really secure. It'll really hold everything. So there's different ways that we can do this. We can create a base of just our filler material and our foliage and then add our flowers, or we can add our flowers as we go. But let's do what I suggested first. Let's do the foliage and the filler material first. You've got options when you're making like a tied design. You can kind of move things around. You can do flowers and foliage and filler as you go. Or, as we're going to do here, you can create the base that then allows you to feed the flowers in. There's no right or wrong, it's whichever you prefer. And I would suggest, if you're new to flowers or you're wanting to learn a little bit more, is to try things out. So if you have the opportunity, like maybe you're having to make a few different bouquets, is just do a different method for each and find out which one you prefer. And even when you think you know what your way of working is, you might find that you always vary it, or you might always stay the same. So what we've done is we've basically got our base. We've got some nice foliage creating a framework, and we've got some nice filler flowers really adding adding the content that's going to be a backdrop to our main flowers. So the first flowers I'm going to add are our roses. Now I don't want them to be the main flower, so I'm just going to put them in spaced kind of across the bouquet. So basically like 1, 2, 3, like a triangle. And that's a good way to work. So if your spiral is nice and consistent, then it's quite easy to just drop them in and they'll sit quite happily. And I think we'll put in our carnations next. With the outer edge, you can actually just slip them up where you want it to be, but just coming from the outside. That works quite well. So rather than trying to feed them through, you'll be able to put half of them in just by coming in from that outer edge. But for feeding in, if you just think about how that spiral works, and what you'll find is that the way all the stems are sitting is they will guide the stem as you place it in. So don't force it, and with your left hand, just loosen off your left hand. And that will open up the stems a little bit and just allow the stem of the one you're wanting to add to pass through. It's interesting if you work in a flower shop, you'll find that your colleagues will work in a different way. Like you might tend to go anti-clockwise, they might tend to go clockwise, and it's very interesting if you end up having to quickly hold a bouquet or finish a bouquet for someone else and they do it the opposite way to you. That really makes you think. But it's kind of fun as well. So now we can add our gerberas. And these are quite a big flower. These are quite a dominant flower. So I can really look at how I want these to land. That one's just got a wee kink in it, so to get that length into that space there, we need one with a longer stem. And I can see that I need one over to here. So we've got our bouquet. I just need to look and see that there's no spaces or gaps. Because you've got this hand tie structure, it makes it very easy to just move things up and down a little bit. Just have a little double check, a little rearrange of what you have. Like this one's really not being seen here, so we can move it over to here. And it's so much easier to do that before you tie it and wrap it than tying it and wrapping it and then realising, oh, I wish I'd moved one of these flowers. So just give things a final check. And I'm just going to add this just as a little bit of interest. This is actually a kind of papyrus, and you can buy it as a cut foliage. It grows really easily. If you stick it upside down in water, it will just start to root. And you can end up with it as a house plant. So we've got our nice tying point. Everything is spiraled in the same way. There's no foliage that's going to be underneath the water line. And we can just tie this off with some natural twine. I like to make that quite secure. One of the benefits of making a tied bouquet as an arrangement is that it's very easy then for the customer to change the water. It's already pre-arranged, and then they just lift it out, change the water, and it's done. So we want this to go into our vase, and I'm going to use secateurs for cutting it. Now if you're not sure, then I would cut it long and then you can always make it shorter. If you make it too short, that can be a problem. But actually, it's interesting, when you put a bouquet like this into a container, you generally find that you will end up making it shorter stem-wise than you think. So if that was for a bouquet, personally I think, actually that's quite nice. I was thinking I would make that a little bit smaller, but actually it's sitting really well. The vase is helping to hold it up, but also the hand tie structure holds it as well. The flowers are clearly in water, and it's nice and neat, and there's no debris in the water. So this is an ideal arrangement for a gift and for someone that you like, and they've got a vase that they can keep for future flowers. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have and you haven't already subscribed, then click here. And if you really want to share the love of flowers, then we encourage you to share this video with your friends. So take care. We look forward to seeing you for our next design.